Okay. The next topic is close to your heart because of your new book, which we just mentioned, The Case Against BDS, Why Singling Out Israel for Boycott is Anti-Semitic and Anti-Peace. You know, we have been playing over the last couple of days these extraordinary things that Louis Farrakhan has said. We're going to go ahead and run that right now just to remind people of what he has said in the past.
Here the Jews don't like Farrakhan, so they call me Hitler. Well, that's a good name. Hitler was a very great man. Your country has been taken from you by the synagogue of Satan, the satanic Jews. Because you see, white people deserve to die. White folks are going down.
Professor, there were 8 Democrats in Congress that were linked to Farrakhan and seen in pictures standing with him, taking meetings with him. So many Republicans and Democrats said you need to separate yourself from this guy. 3 of them did. 3 black members of Congress did. And now the Nation of Islam is calling them sellouts. Should more Democrats come out and say, you know, you need to stop, you need to all separate yourself from him? What's your response to this?
Well, I think more than just separate themselves. I think Keith Ellison has to be fired immediately as deputy chairman of the DNC. Not only has he become close to Farrakhan, but he's lied to the American public about ending his relationship with Farrakhan. We know that he continued to meet with Farrakhan even after he said he no longer met with him. This is the leadership of the Democratic Party. Farrakhan is a bigot. He is far worse than David Duke. Why? Because Farrakhan has a large following. David Duke is a joke. He doesn't have a large following. He has no influence on university campuses. He has no influence with any major segment of the American public. But we see that Farrakhan has continuing influence within the African American community at the very highest levels. That's why he's so much more dangerous. And he ought to be treated the way we treat David Duke. If any Republican dared to meet with David Duke, that would be the end of their career. It should be the end of the career of any Democrat who has any association with this bigot Farrakhan.
Why does he have such a following when he says these kinds of remarks?
Because he also tries to help the black community. Look, Hitler helped the communities in Germany as well. He ended unemployment. He helped inflation. Stalin, the same thing. Every bigot can claim to do some good. Even David Duke has said that, look, he helps energize the American whites. That's all nonsense. When you're a bigot, you're a bigot. And when you're an anti-Semite, there can be zero tolerance for anti-Semitism. The Democrats have to do something about this. They cannot be associated with this bigot. And race is no excuse. We don't have affirmative action when it comes to bigotry. Whether you're black or white, you cannot be associated with a bigot like Farrakhan.
I mean, Professor, you've been clear on this from the beginning. You said you'd leave the party, the Democrat, if Keith Ellison were to become the chair. He's the deputy chair. You remain critical. I think that's a very consistent position. Another Democrat who's been in the news, well, a lot, and has stayed in the news because she's on a book tour now in India, continues on her sort of what happened tour. She's been in India. We played a lot of this sound, but we have to get your reaction to it. It almost seems like she feels like the further away she is from America, the more candid she could be about how she really feels about the election. Listen to Hillary Clinton bashing people who voted for Trump, and we want to get your reaction. Listen.
I won the places that are optimistic, diverse, dynamic, moving forward. And his whole campaign, Make America Great Again, was looking backwards. You know, you didn't like black people getting rights. You don't like women, you know, getting jobs. We do not do well with white men, and we don't do well with married white women. And part of that is an identification with the Republican Party and a sort of ongoing pressure to vote the way that your husband, your boss, your son, whoever, believes you should.
There's a lot to unpack there. Where would you like to start?
Well, I'd like to learn lessons from her defeat and make sure we don't, the Democrats, don't suffer another defeat like that again. And if we take her lesson seriously, we have to move the party away from the radical left, move it back to the center, try to get middle-class voters, white voters, people of color, people of every background from the Middle West, union people, and learn the lesson of the defeat. Not try to make excuses, but just learn how to make sure
but how does that really happen?
In the future if the Democrats are going to win.
Has the party not left